Lads and ladies, it's been a while since I've done a Sorare Euro Profit Challenge video, and this will probably be the penultimate episode of the series, aka the second last ever episode of the series, because Sorare are getting rid of the Cap 270 specialist competitions come the end of March. For anyone unaware, this series is a documentation of the 23/24 calendar season specialist tournaments for the top 5 leagues, and honestly I'm glad the competitions are going, as I can assure you my tactics for this series were not good for my long-term prospects of making profit. Let me spell it out for you. Buying stacks at middling teams such as Wolfsburg and Lyon is not a fucking good idea. You know, it really hasn't worked out for me. I've had a Wolfsburg stack all season, I've won 1 reward with them. I've had a Lyon stack all season, I've won 1 reward with them. And maybe you could say, Royalivi, you bought the wrong fucking stacks, you're a dipshit. And, you know, maybe that's true. But I'm not going to fuck around by buying another stack to find out. Look at this, £400 in the red still at this stage of the season. Now obviously reward prices for the most part decline as the months go on during a season, especially with the new announcement, but that's still a lot to claw back, and this figure was actually helped massively by the EPL winter competition as well, which makes up £170 of my winnings. So if that competition had never come to fruition, I'd have been well and truly fucked here, I can promise you that. I wouldn't have even been close to making my money back in any capacity. So yeah, it's been a struggle, and I do have to say I do still have all of these players on the right here in my account, so we have to factor their end of season value in when seeing how well I did on the final episode of the series next month at the end of March or start of April. But they just, you know, probably aren't going to be worth £400 altogether. Martinez and Çalhanoğlu are worth a little bit, but the rest of these players, yeah, they're not going to be breaking the bank anytime soon. So I need a strong finish to the season, but today I'm here to impart some wisdom. The first point being that mid-table team stacks are not the answer. You know, in any tournament structure going forward, I'll still stand by that. They're just not what you want. You know, even if they have a big win a few times of a season, it's just, you know, like fuck off. No, I don't care. Like, fuck you. Like, I might win a tier 2 if they win 3-0. Don't care, fuck off, just be less shit at football. So I probably need to look at selling some of these stacks now, honestly. Their value would be a fair bit less than what I paid for them at the time, I imagine, so that's going to be fucking sad to look at. You know, really, I'm just going to say it, you need a big team from the leagues you're in if you're going to stack. For instance, in the Bundesliga, Bayern, Dortmund, Leverkusen perhaps. Certainly not a fucking Wolfsburg stack, I can tell you that. Motherfucker. What was that? Which brings me to my second point of the video. Why even stack? You don't have to stack a full lineup anymore, right? You know, it's not a thing. I know it sort of gives that security blanket that when your team does well, all of your players should score well in conjunction. I get that, and it's a nice bonus, but these days the knowledge is out there. You know, we know what players are key starters across Munich, Dortmund and Leverkusen, for instance. We also know which players are historically the highest scorers across those 3 teams using Sorare data and such. So there's no need to be like, oh wow, I've got a Dortmund player in midfield and attack. Better go and buy a fucking Dortmund keeper and defender and then about fucking 20 bench players for a collection bonus. Like no. No. I say no. I'm changing the tide. What was that? I'm just saying, at this point, you can do the research and get like a player who's much better in that position. In the aggregate, yeah, you might miss out some bonus points from a collection score, but is that extra 1% bonus worth it if your Dortmund defender is on average across the season scoring 10 points less a game in SO5 than, say, a Bayern Munich defender? I certainly don't think so, and if anything, having 5 players from one team makes you more likely to get a DNP with the fractional odds and the maths and shit. I've always been very reliant and emotionally invested in stacking, and you know, it's time for a change. No more. I'm against stacks. Stacking out. Fuck stacking. Fuck you, stacking. If you're watching this video stacking, you can go fuck yourself. Bitch. We want teams that can push for those, you know, upper end tier 2s, tier 1s, star 0s, all that good shit. You know, that's the Sorare dream. So, looking at recent results, the Petit stack has been a mid to upper end stack that has done better than the others, and I've had them for a lot less time as well. As you can see on the screen here, I've recently won a Rafinha as a tier 2 worth about £15. Not bad, I'm just fucking glad it wasn't another Greenwood, honestly. And then here in Game Week 449, the Petit stack has done decently again to secure me a tier 3. You know, we'll take that. Shame Isco was out injured, meaning I had to settle on a more middling player, such as Mark Roca here to round out the team, but 385 points is not too shabby at all. But the biggest surprise of this game week, and perhaps the biggest surprise of the fucking series so far, is that I've actually done very decently here in the French specialist this game week 449. I've won a tier 2, a top end tier 2 here, so that's really nice stuff, especially considering Lopez and Tagliafico didn't manage to get any shutout points Would have been really fucking nice if they had. Probably would have pushed into a tier 1 or maybe higher. But, you know, Barcola was even benched as well, right? And luckily he managed to come on and grab an important assist for me here, with Kakare back to his best with a top scorer as my captain. Always fucking nice when you pick the right captain. We don't do it often here. So, yeah, let's see what fucking cards I'm going to win. Does it get more exciting than this? A tier 4 in the La Liga EA Sports specialist thingy-mabob goalkeeper. So you're not a starting keeper, is that right? I mean, I have a Betis collection, so that's probably good. I actually don't know if I have him or not. Can I don't go, fuck. I may have him, I may not. I guess that's something. And tier 2, a top end tier 2 in the French League Specialist. There were some good players in the pool. Nuno Mendes, right? Yeah, Nuno Mendes. That's going to be a new PSG card. I was going to say I wanted a new PSG card. I actually have no idea if Nuno Mendes is playing lately. So he's 31 quid, which is really quite decent. And I'm sure this is where I thought he wasn't playing, because I'm then scrolling down here and I'm seeing he's just got DMPs for life. You know, I'm sure he's been injured. Obviously, how long do these DMPs stretch back to? So they stretch back to May. That's like 9 months without him playing a football match, and he is still 31 quid. So that's pretty good. I guess I could just hold him until he comes back, right? And his price would go up, maybe, if Limited's hold price. He's under 23 for another 2 years. I don't know, I think I'd rather have the F. At the same time, like, it's a bit shit getting a player that's been injured for so long. I don't know if that's theoretically someone I could swap on the doodah thing. I'm not going to. I'm just going to fucking deal with this shit. But, yeah, I guess that's okay. So yeah, one more episode left of this fucking series, which I fucking hated, by the way. So if you've been watching this, good for you. I fucking wouldn't have. So stick around and let's party if we're all feeling hearty. And I'll catch you next time, because I love you.